Do you want to be eating and living and feeling healthier, but just can't find the energy to make it happen? I'm Hannah Mason, and in this video, we're going to be exploring how to energize yourself with energy. It just so happens a few days ago, I had an absolutely sleepless night. I got into a gnarly argument with somebody I really care about and felt all sorts of yucky feelings, a mixture of guilt and shame and anger and frustration and sadness all mushed together, and all of those emotions were roiling inside of me so much that sleep just kind of wasn't happening. And finally in the morning, thank God, I did some really good processing work that I was avoiding doing all night long, and that really chilled me out. What it didn't do for me is give me the fuel that I needed to get through the day. And it used to be when I had a rough night or a rough few days, or if I was stressed out in any way, what I always went to is sitting and doing nothing. So I would just sit in a lump in the couch, maybe watch a movie or read a trashy novel, and I thought that that would conserve all of my energy and that would allow me to just get through the day until I could get to bed and go back to sleep and hopefully have some recuperative sleep. The challenge was that it didn't exactly work. What I used to find is as I would sit there like a lump, my energy would just get lower and lower and lower, and I'd be so tired. And then I'd lie down to fall asleep because I was so exhausted, but I still wasn't able to fall asleep. And then that night I'd be dragging even more, and it would just turn into this huge cycle where I was constantly exhausted. So the question is, what do you do about that? What are you going to do when you don't have energy and yet you want to be somebody who has energy, but you feel like you need energy to move forward in your health goals? So I want to show you a simple tool of inquiry that can really help you shift in your understanding about energy and health. So if you're holding the belief that you don't have the energy to take care of your health, then that belief might actually be what's dragging you down. And the only way that you can really know that is by checking in with your body. Your physiology is always going to tell you what's true and what's false, and what's bringing you joy and what's bringing you yuckiness. So I'm going to take you through Byron Katie's 5-step process of looking at a belief or a thought and exploring, what's it doing for you? Is it helpful? Is it not helpful? And then how you can shift out of it. So the first thing we ask is it true? So is it true that I don't have the energy to take care of my health? So in that moment when I'm sitting on the couch and totally exhausted, yeah, that feels so true, right? And this question is really kind of a gut question. How do you feel? Does it feel true? Does it not feel true? Don't get so caught up in intellectualizing it. The next question is, can you absolutely know that it's true that you don't have the energy to take care of your health? So having been at a Tony Robbins event where I went day after day after day on only 3 or 4 hours of sleep and yet somehow had a tremendous amount of energy, I know that if I really want to, I have the energy to do just about anything. So for me, for that belief, I don't have the energy to take care of my health, not true. And I know that it's not absolutely true. I can't for sure know it, right? Because I've seen other times when I had the energy to do anything I wanted to do. So then the next thing we ask is question number 3. How do you react to believing the thought that you don't have the energy to take care of your health? So for me, when I believe the thought I don't have the energy to take care of my health, just saying those words, I feel my shoulders go like this. My body just sinks. Somehow saying that statement already makes me feel less energized. I also feel kind of trapped, in a corner, and my breathing grows shallow, and what else happens to me? I get frustrated and I start going into this mental dialogue of this is unfair, or life is unfair, or I'm not getting treated right, or something like that. And it just doesn't feel good. It feels like I'm getting punished. So right away, all of those physiological responses tell me that this belief that I'm thinking in my mind that I might be super duper attached to, I might think it's absolutely true, and I might not even be thinking about the Tony Robbins. I might just say, yes, it's totally absolutely true. My body's saying baloney. So really simple thing that your body does for you. It's really incredible. And it's really scientifically proven that when you feel yucky in your body, you're believing something that's not true. So how do I know that that's scientifically proven? Look at lie detector tests. What lie detector tests measure is if you go into an adrenal response in response to a certain belief. So if I believe I don't have the energy to take care of my health, and my breathing goes shallow, or my heart rate goes up, or my body slumps, or my muscles tighten, that's an adrenal response. And right away, I can know like, oh, my body's shutting down in the presence of this belief. Not true. It doesn't matter how true it feels to my gut and to my head, and it might seem so logical, and I know what I'm talking about, and I'm super sure. My body's going to tell me the truth. My body shuts down right away. I know that it's not true, that I don't have the energy to take care of my health. So now the next thing I do is see, how does my body react, and how do I react when I don't have the thought? Who am I without the thought that I don't have the energy to take care of my health? So without that thought, I can just sort of check in and say, hey, what do I really want to do right now? Or what can I do to fuel my health outcomes? And I just feel like a little bit peppier, more open, more relaxed, definitely not stressed and trapped in a corner and punished by God or who knows what else. And now I can go into step number 5, right? So we've asked 4 questions. Is it true? Can you absolutely know that it's true? How do you react to the thought? How are you without the thought? And the 5th thing that we do is turning a thought around. So we're going to say the opposite of the thought and explore, hey, we're going to look at different ways of seeing things and see what our subconscious attaches to. So I don't have the energy to take care of my health can turn around to, I do have the energy to take care of my health. So it just so happens that yesterday I didn't have the excitement and enthusiasm to go for a run. But you know what? I went for a 1-hour walk with my husband on the sandbar at my in-laws' beach, which was really cool. And another thing that I was able to do is go for a paddleboard. And I actually also fit in some yoga, and just somehow that seemed to manifest despite only being on like 2 hours of sleep, which is totally crazy what our bodies are able to do when we create space for that, okay? Or I do have the energy to take care of my health. I can just in that moment say, is there something I can do to be kinder to myself? And that might be washing an apple and cutting it into pieces, or not cutting it into pieces and just biting right into it, knowing that that apple is going to be really good for me. Another thing I can do to take care of my health is look at the reasons why I didn't get a good night's rest and make sure that I don't set myself up for another night like that. So in that case, for me, it was processing all of the yucky emotions I have and putting them out on paper, and also talking through with the people that I had been in conflict with. That was really, really helpful. I could also say, hey, when I go to bed too late, I also get into an adrenal state. I get really wired and it's hard for me to fall asleep. So I'm going to make sure tonight to get to bed at 8 o'clock so I can really wind down and make sure I get a good night's rest. So I can start asking myself questions of, what can I do with the energy and resources I have right now, as opposed to just assuming that I can't do anything, okay? So now the original statement, I don't have the energy to take care of my health. I could turn that around again. I don't have the energy to not take care of my health. So right now I'm dealing with a whole slew of people in my life who I care about who are really sick. So I have a family member with pancreatic cancer, and another family member who's has their gallbladder removed, and another one who's dealing with heart disease, a lot of them dealing with heart disease, and also friends close to me who are dealing with their parents having cancer. And I realize that dealing with cancer takes a tremendous amount of energy. And because of the research I've done, I know that cancer is a lifestyle disease. So if I take care of what I eat and making sure I get good rest and exercise, so then I know that my chances of getting cancer are going to go down a ton. And that's a train I'd rather not jump into, because it takes a huge amount of energy. right? It's a different way of looking at it. If I'm looking at the consequences of not taking care of my health, do I have the energy to deal with that? And I'm like, dude, man, so much easier to get myself out on the paddleboard or to just eat some good healthy fruits and vegetables than to have to deal with that. Even though right now what I want to do is eat my tub of Ben and Jerry's because I'm feeling pissy and sad and tired, right? So just exploring different ways of looking at things, I suddenly realized, like, wow, to believe the thought that I don't have the energy to take care of my health is, first of all, not true because my body is just telling me it's not true. And second of all, yesterday on 2 hours of sleep, I was able to do all those different pieces to take care of myself. And third of all, man, I don't have the energy to not take care of my health. I really want to deal with amazing health outcomes, not just in the short run, so I have the energy and the vitality to get through my days and to do the things I'm excited to do, but also I don't want to be dealing with the negative outcomes of not taking care of myself right now. So that's one thought. If you're dealing with it, hopefully this process will have helped you. And if not, I recommend you get yourself on paper and ask yourself these questions. Is it true? Can you absolutely know that it's true? How do you react when you believe the thought? How are you without the thought? And say the opposites of the thought. And if you're feeling like still a little bit stuck and challenged, know that there are amazing resources out there. First of all, you can get the book, Hold That Thought, directly from me, from my website, hannahmason.com/books. And that's going to take you through this process of inquiry in a much, much deeper way. I'm also in the process of launching a Hold That Thought course. We have a group coaching program. I also do one-on-one coaching, and I'm developing an incredible membership program where you're going to get incredible content every single day that's going to fuel your health, your growth, and your vitality. If you're interested in checking out any of those things, please go to my website, hannahmason.com, and you can sign up for a call with me where we can discuss what are the ways that we can best serve you and get your vitality up a whole slew of notches. In the meantime, wishing you the best.
Want to find out what's blocking your vitality? Quickly take the quiz at hannahmason.com/health quiz.